There is a formula for your success, and part of it is following your dream. That means staying actually true to yourself and not giving up when things get hard. My next guest on La Dolce Vita, the formula for fabulous living, she shares her journey on how she followed her dream, and then she's very successful. So I cannot wait to share this episode. So stay tuned.
Frankie Lee, dimmi, quale senso della vita?
The meaning of life is to live la dolce vita, which is the formula for fabulous living.
Hi, my name is Heather Picken, and welcome to the La Dolce Vita Show, the formula for fabulous living. I'm the catalyst in helping you to be more confident, create your dream business, and attract elite clients and live a fabulous life. Here's Heather helping you to upgrade your life to
Fabulous. Upgrade your life to fabulous. Right, Frankie? You're fabulous.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of La Dolce Vita, the formula for fabulous living. I know every time I say that, I pretend I'm Italian, although I'm Irish. But fun fact here, I used to live in Italy. And it's, this show is all about having fun. I love interviewing people all around the world that have an inspired mission and purpose. They are following their dream and being true to themselves and creating an extraordinary life. And I'm so excited and inspired to have my guest today, Mila Golovine. So Mila, thank you so much for being my guest today.
Thank you for having me.
And, before we begin, can you share with our viewers and our listeners, if they're over on iTunes or maybe you're on YouTube, a little bit about your business?
My company's name is MasterWord Services. I formed it actually back in 1993. It was my school project. This was my school homework assignment. And the business is connecting people across language and culture. We provide translation, localization, and interpreting services in over 300 languages across the globe.
Wow. I mean, that is inspiring. And I know that didn't happen overnight. There's always like a story and a journey. And this show is all about breaking down the formula, because I have studied people all over the world, the most successful people, and there is a formula for success. And I really want people to connect with this. Is when you follow the formula, part of that's following your dream, being true to yourself, then you can create the business and life that you want and live what I call your La Dolce Vita experience. So let's go back to the very beginning when you started out with this business, this journey. Let's start there, before this business was ever created. And what were some of the challenges that you were facing, and how did you create the business? Like, what was that inspired moment where you said to yourself, this is what, the business I'm going to create?
Well, it actually was a journey, and it was a search. I always loved languages. I always loved learning languages, helping people communicate, understand each other. And one day, and I was actually doing translation and interpreting. And one day I signed up for class. That I come from the Soviet Union. Back in 1989, I came here as a student to study finance. And I wanted to learn about free market enterprise that didn't exist in the planned Soviet economy at the time. So when I signed up for a class called Entrepreneurship, I had no idea what that word meant. It didn't exist. And it was actually the first time this class was offered at the University of Houston. Part of the class, I had to create a project or a business plan. And I figured, why not look at, what would it look like to create a business doing translation and interpreting for companies, for people. So that ended up being my school project, and then ended up being what I have been doing my entire life. It has been a very challenging journey because it started with just me. I had no capital at all. I actually had to borrow money to buy my very first computer and build the business literally one step at a time. So it's been a very exciting journey, but with a lot of challenges.
Yeah, and that's what I want everyone to realize, because I know a lot of women particularly watch this show or listen to it, women entrepreneurs that are either starting on their path, being an entrepreneur, or they're in it and there's challenges. I know for myself, I wanted to throw in the towel like so many times. I wanted to give up. So what advice would you give to women entrepreneurs right now that are facing, the struggle, either having no capital in their business or really trying to gain momentum to get to that next level?
Just don't give up. Follow your dreams. As long as you have your dream in mind, sometimes the way you originally planned to go about things to reach your success is not going to be the way you get there. So don't ever give up and always think outside the box. And we as women have the ability to have that extra intuition. So follow your intuition. And
I love that. I love that. And it's so true. What you're saying is part of the formula. Like if you hear J.K. Rowling, I mean, she was the first billionaire female author. Oprah Winfrey, the first woman to have her own TV show. And Sarah Blakely, she was the creator of Spanx. And all these women, what they had in common is that they believed in themselves. And, they did have, they had to fail. Or fail upwards, or really it's, just a result. So what are some of the challenges that you faced specifically in your business where maybe someone would label it an outsider looking at as failure, and how did you overcome that?
Well, I faced multiple challenges like this. First of all, starting the business, working, the reduced 100-hour week.
Yeah.
Still having to put on, a pretty face that despite of the lack of sleep that you had, fulfilling multiple roles, being able to go get the first working capital loan. I remember the first time I went for the loan, the banker said, I presented my case and very passionately. And the banker said, nobody in their right mind would give you a loan.
Wow.
There was a long pause, and he said, it's good that I'm not in my right mind. Let's figure out how we can do it.
I love that. I love that when people take a chance on someone, they feel the passion. Like if you've ever watched Shark Tank, I love that show. And what I find is that the investors will really invest in an inspired idea. You could have you could have all the numbers, they could add up, but if you don't have the passion, then they won't do it. So I love that you're sharing that.
They invest in the person. And we originally focused on supporting oil and gas companies. We're based in Houston, and so we're focused on supporting oil and gas companies. And then back in 97, 98, oil went all the way down to $11, I believe 82 cents or 87 cents a gallon. And everybody was either shutting down or closing. And I went from having to pretty much go from the team of 30 to the team of 3. And I will never forget how I had to let go of my director of operations and ended up borrowing $60,000 from him in the same conversation. He actually, and Frank Kelly is his name, he actually gave me his 401k savings.
Wow.
To help us survive. And we ended up paying him back. And we didn't expect that but it was that determination about turning things around. And what we did, we diversified. We started supporting other industries. We looked at domestically here in the United States, you have a very large percentage of population that doesn't speak English. And we started working with healthcare and government and helping people get access to healthcare, education, government services. That helped us diversify and be successful while making a difference in people's lives.
I love that. And I want people to hear this right now, because you had a challenge that was presented to you. And you said earlier, you have to think outside of the box, and that's where you cannot quit. And you really were able to take that challenge and turn it into an opportunity, right? You could have easily thrown in the towel and said, you know what, I don't have the money, I'm going to give up, but you found a way.
when failure is not an option, you always find a way.
I love it.
Somebody once told me, be flexible like water. Water can get to its destination in the form of ice. It will go around, under, or it will turn into gas, and will still get to its destination. So be flexible like water, follow your intuition, follow your dreams, and don't let anybody tell you that you cannot do it.
I love it, because we look at today, we are living in, well, someone may perceive, we're living in a challenging time where there is a level of uncertainty in technology, uncertainty of, will I have my job? And then of course your business. And it really takes a leader to really know who they are, know the journey that they're on. So what advice would you give to entrepreneurs out there that are kind of feeling scared with, all the things that are going on in the world, not just with technology, but the world in general?
Well, I'm scared. I'm scared every day. I'm scared since the very first day. But it's not about letting somebody once said success is being able to go from failure to failure with a positive attitude,
I love it.
It's you as long as you love what you do and you follow your dream, you will get there. It doesn't matter how uncertain things are, as long as you have certainty and you know what you are doing, you will be successful. It's a matter of how you adapt. How do you adapt to change? How do you react to change? There is always a lesson. There's always something positive, even in the worst setback.
It's so true.
So it's about how you handle that. And as a leader, you cannot, yes, you have the moments where you're completely defeated. You go back and you just regroup. You regroup, you keep your eye, on the goal where you want to get, and then you get up and you go and get it.
It's so true. And the mindset of like a CEO and a leader is totally different than a startup mindset. So I will work with very successful CEOs, and then I'll work with other businesses that they're more kind of in the startup position. And I find that the problem solving level at the CEO is so different than down here, because would you agree that as you go through the challenges, it's like you're rising above, that you can take on bigger challenges and you have a different perspective, like you start seeing the world and your business in a different way.
Absolutely right. At the same time, when you have more people that you're working with, then it's about how do you inspire the people that you're working with? How you keep everybody moving in the same direction, being one team, and embracing diversity of opinions, embracing the challenge of opinions, and at that point you're just not just helping yourself stay on the goal. It's a matter of business is a team sport. So
I love it. And you're so true, because if you look at some of the companies now that are folding, it all comes down to, is this person an inspired leader? Or are they just after making money? So what you're saying is so true with what's happening today, and on any level, whether you're helping your clients, you're inspiring them, you're working with a team. Now, here's the question to ask you, Mila. What are some of the successful habits, the daily rituals that you do every single day that really keeps you focused, really keeps you inspired to do what you're doing?
Well, first of all, I always have a long-term business plan and a short-term business plan. By long-term, I mean about 20-year plan, and then that goes to 5-year plan and a 1-year plan. And I keep that in mind. And then I organize my day. Every day, doesn't matter how tired I am, I make a list of what I'm going to accomplish the following day. And I make sure that it gets done despite of, you plan your life, but then your life happens to you. So despite of what happens, despite of the circumstances, I just make sure I stay on target, which is very difficult sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. So, just to recap, you've got to have a plan. You've got to have a short-term plan. You have a long-term plan. And I like what you said, because this is something that I do and I teach my clients. The day before, or even the whole week, what are those highest priorities that you're doing? Because think about it. You could be on Facebook all day long, and then the day is over and you're like, I got nothing done. I'm watching cat and dog videos on Facebook and I'm not focusing on my highest priority. So I love that you're sharing those things with women entrepreneurs. They can really learn a lot from, what they need to do every single day, how they need to plan, because I find, and I don't know if you find this to be true, like talking to other, let's just say startups or smaller businesses, that a lot of times, they'll be in for like the quick fix. Yeah, I want to make X amount of money, in this time. And then if it doesn't happen, they give up and they don't think about the long-term vision. So how important is it for you, or has it been in your business, to really have that long-term vision?
Well, it's critically important because the long-term vision is what keeps you going through whatever challenges you face. And in our industry, there is a lot of challenges. There is competition, there is technology challenges. We've chosen to embrace technology and actually work with technology. It's changing the way we communicate. It's changing the way the written word is shared and spoken. Technology will be in our lives and will be more and more in our lives. So it's now, when I started the business, I was more of a linguist. Now I have to really understand technology, and it's a big challenge. It's a big challenge.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm glad that you said that, because you have to be able to embrace technology. I know people that won't even get like a smartphone. They're not on Facebook. Like, they're so scared of, just tapping into that space. But technology is not going away. We're going to Mars, we're going to the stars. So you might as well get used to it. So I love that you're sharing that with people today, to really, let them know, like, yeah, you cannot be afraid.
And don't be afraid of trying new things. One of my mentors, Bill Sherrill, taught me a very wise thing. He said, you want to do ready, fire, aim. Because if you're doing ready, aim, fire, your target has moved. So you have an implementation plan, try things out, and then readjust. It's a matter of course correcting to your end goal. It's not a matter of always setting up on the right perfect target, in a plan and getting there. Working in business, implementing your idea, it's a matter of multiple course corrections at all times.
That you bring up a really good point, because a lot of times, you might have a marketing plan and you implement it and it doesn't work out. And marketing, sometimes you kind of have to throw everything up and see what sticks. And that might be 5% of what you're doing, so I'm glad that you brought that point up. And let's kind of shift gears, Mila, because, the other part of, you have your business, but there's other areas of your life. So how do you balance it all, like having time for your fitness and health and relationships? Because I know, like, part of my story is I've been disempowered in every area of my life, from money to men. And I made it my mission to really understand who I was, so that I was not attracting those relationships. So what is your philosophy on how you kind of balance everything other than business?
Well, I also have 3 kids.
Oh, wow.
15, 14, and 3. I'm sorry, 3, 6. Time flies, I guess. 6, 14, and 6. And so it's very challenging. It's very difficult. So part of the things is you need to delegate everything that's not a priority. So for me, spending time with kids is a priority, but certain things then, I just end up delegating, such as, for example, cleaning the house, getting somebody to help me with cleaning the house. Or if I clean the house with the kids to make sure that they all participate. We end up spending quality time together. It's also about being present in the moment. So you have very limited time, but if in the moment when you're with the kids, you're thinking about business, and when you're with the business, you're thinking about how you didn't spend enough time with your kids, you end up not doing good anywhere. But if you are in that moment, focused and present, then that helps. I can tell you that exercising did slide a lot. But now when I do exercise, it's going on walks with the kids, or it's doing things with the kids. It's changed form, I don't have time to go to the gym every day. But it's a challenge. It's a challenge. It's a balancing act.
Right. And yeah, it is a balancing act, and life is never perfect. Life is never linear. So I truly appreciate this conversation. And I just want all women out there to, understand that there is a formula for your success and following your dream. You cannot give up on yourself. And Mila, I just want to thank you so much. I'm very grateful for you taking the time out in your busy schedule to really show other entrepreneurs, specifically women, and inspiring them to follow their dream.
Thank you so much for having me on your show.
And before we leave today, if you're listening on iTunes, make sure you rate, review, and subscribe, because my mission is very clear. It is all about empowering women out there, millions of women and women entrepreneurs, to own their power, own their greatness, and do something extraordinary in their business and life. So that's how we get the message out there. If you're over on my site, heatherpicken.com, you click on the blog, you can actually watch us on video and subscribe to YouTube. I say click that Pavlov's bell and you'll get notified when the next episode arrives. So that's it. That is the formula for fabulous living and following your dream. Until next time, this is Heather Picken. Take care, everyone. So if you found this show to be fabulous, share with your fabulous friends, rate, review, and subscribe on YouTube and iTunes. And I'll make sure I take a beatbox lesson, right? Or give my little chihuahua a bone. That's me. Fabulous.